I just stood in front of the door waiting for it to open, but it never opened. Hello. My name is Maria. I'm originally from Hong Kong. And 2 years ago, I moved to Spain to study my master's. And currently, I'm living in Austria. And in the past 2.5, 3 years, I've noticed so many different things that are so interesting in the European countries that I didn't really know about before. And sometimes they're cultural shocks for me. So I thought this video, we can just talk about them a little bit. Let's get straight into it. Today we'll be focusing in on transportation and travel. The lack of security in these transportation systems. Like I completely go crazy when for me this is still a little bit difficult to accept when I go into a bus or when I go into a train station that I don't have to show my ticket. Most of the buses and trams over here in Austria and also in Germany, I remember you can walk in, and this is because we have annual pass over here. So people buy annual pass that basically covers your transportation for your entire city. So whenever you take a bus, whenever you take a tram, the transportation is basically covered if you are paying for this annual pass. In Hong Kong, this was completely different. In Hong Kong, you have a card where you load money into it and you use that for many different things, one of which is transportation. And we have every single time we enter trains, we enter buses, we need to demonstrate this card. We need to show this card. We need to actually press it against the machine. And there's always somebody that's going to be guarding on the opposite end. So maybe that's the bus driver. And in train stations, even though there's a machine that you need to press this card against, sometimes there'll be an extra guard standing right there who will be seeing whether you have bought the correct ticket or not. And this card makes different sounds. Basically, if you have an adult ticket or you have a student ticket or you have a child ticket, it makes different sound in the machine, which indicates which ticket you have bought. And so I was using this card to travel in the train station, and I was a student at that time. The sound of the student is the same as the child ticket. And I would always get caught by the guard at the front who would ask to check my card and check if I have bought the correct ticket because of that sound. And so I am so accustomed to the amount of surveillance that we have in Hong Kong in terms of buying the correct transportation ticket. Not only buying the ticket, but buying the correct transportation ticket. Don't you dare cheat. And over here, I lived 6 months in Germany, in Hamburg. I bought the ticket not once did I get checked. And here I've been in Austria for around 6 months as well. And although I live in a very small city, the checks are not as frequent. So, for those of you that don't come from Europe or don't know, there are spot checks. So, people do come into the buses and they check sometimes whether you have bought the ticket. And then, if you don't, and if you're not able to show at that time, then you get fined. But that happens like sometimes. It doesn't happen all the time. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't buy the tickets. Please buy the tickets. It baffles me, the lack of surveillance. The second is actually very funny. I actually almost missed a flight because of this in the beginning. And it's the fact that you need to press the door of the bus and the train so that it opens. In Hong Kong, we don't have that. We don't have to press the door. There's not a button on the door for the buses and trams that opens it. It opens automatically. When the bus driver stops at a stop or when the train station stops at a stop, the train doors open automatically. The bus doors open automatically. You don't have to press the damn door. One time I was taking a train to the airport and it was my stop, and I just stood in front of the door waiting for it to open, but it never opened. And I almost missed my flight because I was at the airport station. I had to arrive on time. It was Munich. Munich is a busy airport. From there on, I always have to remind myself that I need to press the damn door. And in Hong Kong, people are always very rushed, including the bus drivers. And so if you are running late and you almost miss a bus, because the door is located at the front, if you are running from the back and the bus driver sees you're running, but it's in a rush and doesn't want to wait for you, they can just go away and it's okay. And obviously that happens here too. But the good thing is that the buses over here have doors at the back as well. So they have doors at the back, they have the middle doors, they have the front doors. So if you're running late, you can actually go run, and just reach until the back door, which is so much easier than the front door. Press the button that you need to press, the door will open and you will reach your destination, which I find super cool and super convenient as well because I'm always running late and Hong Kong bus drivers just want to rush everywhere. The third thing that it's not a shock, but I really appreciate is the ace of traveling within the EU. We all know the Shenzhen area is so easy to travel within. There's a lot of border free traveling, so you don't have to show your visa, your passport. Sometimes you do to the airlines, but when you cross the border of a different country, you don't have to show your passport or ID necessarily. I have sometimes traveled between countries with just a boarding pass on my Apple phone. And that's it. I've just had my boarding pass and I've not even had to show my ID or my passport, nothing. And I'm able to get into another country. And to me, this is so much of a privilege that I can sit here in the morning with really disgusting, snowy, rainy weather. And in the afternoon, just catching a flight or a train or a car, even, I can be in another country that has beautiful weather, sun, different food, different culture, different language. Exposure that you have because of this, the culture, the languages, the climate is honestly, it's incredible. And I think that through this, you get to learn a lot and you get a lot of different perspective and a lot of international friends in Hong Kong or in Asia in general. If you have a weaker passport, it's really difficult to travel within countries. You always have to get a visa. And even if you have a strong passport, you do have to show that when you cross borders. There is definitely more of a friction when you travel within the countries in Asia as when you travel within Europe. So yeah, those were the three things that I wanted to share. There's obviously so many more things that are in so many different categories different. I will continue to share them because I think the cultural differences between continents can be very interesting to differentiate and also to recognize. So if you guys have had similar experiences, I would be really, really happy to know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.